Yo, 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 it's your boy Sean Puff. I'm here with Lonelle Walker, and this is Smarks, Spot Monkeys, and Superkicks.
He gets longer and longer every time we do this, guys. It's crazy.
I try my lungs get better and better. That's what it is.
Facts. Man,
Don't smoke cigarettes, kids.
we've had a lot going on, man. A lot going on. I know we're gonna be previewing some things today. You got some cool stories for us, man. But I'm ready to get with the wise one about all the stuff that's been going on and what we have coming up. So how's it been going for you?
Pretty good, man. It's been wild. Wrestling has kind of calmed a little bit, at least. We don't have anything like insane going on, so we've been able to work on the Smarkies. It's coming together. That'll probably be sometime next week. We've decided it's going to be a bonus episode.
That's
So
right.
it's going to come out outside of our regular episode. It's going to be cool. It's going to be live. It'll be really fun. So keep tuning in for that. We'll have more information as it comes together, because there's a lot of moving parts for it. I've actually, as a sneak peek for everyone, I actually reached out to every single person that was ever a host on my show, or that I worked with in some form, like doing this wrestling stuff, and I think I got pretty much everybody to say, "Hey, yeah, I'll come on and I'll present an award." So it's going to be cool to see a cast of characters from Smarks, going all the way back from Smarks all the way to when we were doing pit stops on the Boneyard Sports Show.
Correct.
So kind of cool. Excited about that.
I'm excited too, because like with us doing the live component to it, we're able to bring in people that necessarily can't be in space, but that also means that we could have a portion where we tell the audience, if you want to tap in, you can inbox me during the live show and I can send you a link and we can have some people come in and talk to us about some of the awards and stuff like that. But it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a different kind of framework for what we're doing to execute that. So it's going to be fun to pull off.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Like, some people will be live. Some people I'm sure will send us stuff.
Correct.
But it's going to be really cool. Check it out. Tune in for it. And you'll get to see a lot of people that you might know from other places that are going to be involved with this whole production. Other than that, man, it's Elimination Chamber this Saturday. This is going to be kind of our pit stop show. We haven't done a pit stop in a while. Usually I've been kind of reviewing shows, but it's the road to WrestleMania. And on the road to WrestleMania, there's always some pit stops. And the first pit stop is going to be Elimination Chamber. And we're going to, are you still coming over to do this?
We're going to do it 5 a.m.
So we're going to do a watch along. We're going to do a watch along live for any of you that'll be up. People in Australia will be up.
Correct.
So.
It's regular for them.
I'm kind of upset about it because it's at like 6:00 Australia time. Right?
Wow. So if you gave us like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
right,
it would have been more decent for us.
If it was 8 o'clock, it would be 7 in the morning here.
Correct.
And that would have been great. I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? That don't make sense to me that you guys decided to do it at 6, knowing that everything here, if it was here, it would have been at 8 p.m. Yeah. So it kind of ticked me off a little bit when I realized that. I was
diehards will be there. We'll be there. So.
Oh yeah. My alarm will be set. I'll be up, ready to go for it. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. I want to touch on a couple other topics of what's been going on in the wrestling world before we get into that. And let's kind of get into the thing that's been the biggest thing in wrestling probably since you called it, The Rock.
The Rock. Do it for The Rock.
So did you happen to see SmackDown this past week when The Rock came out?
No, I caught a lot of the highlights, and I see like there was some more controversy. He's doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on his heel. So,
but you got to look for Easter eggs, and you got to look for little signs.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So The Rock came out. He dropped this promo about what he's gonna do to Cody Rhodes, the Cody Crybabies. Actually, people are mad at him right now, apparently, because he called somebody fat. He called her a fatty crybaby, and people are mad because he called somebody fat. But whatever, get over it.
It's wrestling, guys.
Right.
We make fun of everything.
Seriously. So he came out and dropped his promo, and there were a few things that people picked up on and have reported throughout the internet. One of them is that he never acknowledged the tribal chief when he came out. Never once acknowledged Roman Reigns. He actually didn't even address Roman directly, right? He talked about The Rock. He talked about the bloodline. He talked about what he's going to do. He said that he's going to show up at WrestleMania and make sure that you leave a loser. And when he did it, he pointed at Roman and looked at Roman. Even though he was talking to Cody, he looked at Roman when he said that, which a lot of people picked up on. And the other thing was at the end of the promo, when they did the bloodline thing and the fingers went up in the air, The Rock didn't do the normal bloodline like this. He did this. You put the L up.
The L up. Like, you gotta take this L. You gonna hold this L, bro.
So it's very interesting. I think it's foreboding of a story, which is great if that's what they're gonna do. If we're really gonna get The Rock turning on Roman, which I think is gonna happen. I think he's gonna.
I mean, I told you I think that's happening.
I think the stipulation is gonna be he's gonna be the ref and he's gonna cost Roman.
Once you called it, I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And then I guess more talk was so that ended the show, right? So when they went off the air, The Rock actually he like dapped up the Usos and Solo, not the Usos, but Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
And Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
And then he gave a hug to the Wise Man. And then that was it. He didn't have any direct interaction with Roman. He didn't like shake his hand. He didn't give him a hug or anything. He didn't acknowledge the tribal chief, which is the wildest part about it. And it's funny because
it's such a like traditional thing.
That's his thing, right?
That's
his
very
thing. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge me. He comes out all the time. Acknowledge me.
That's very interesting.
For The Rock to not acknowledge him.
So that definitely puts us more towards a lean of like Cody finishing his story then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to finish his story. But it's going to be interesting to see how they get to it.
The dynamics.
Exactly.
You think we're going to learn more at Elimination Chamber?
I believe so. So that's another thing. There's a lot of... They want you to believe The Rock's not going to be there. But I think The Rock's going to be there.
Yeah.
He just dropped he did a promo saying that if Cody and Seth, what did he call Seth? He called Seth a crybaby or a bitch or something like that.
He's calling everybody everything
something.
now.
Yeah, he called Seth something and said, if those two run their mouth about The Rock in Perth, The Rock's going to get on a plane and he's going to get there before they even finish. He said, don't ask about how quick he can get there because the Rock can get there as fast as he wants to. So I'm expecting him to be in Perth. I'm expecting us to see him in Perth.
But
they want you to not
now the
believe
writers, like after taking the pivot, they got a little bit more cohesion to what's going on now. Because now the breadcrumbs are making more sense. I felt like at one point it was all just leading us all in every direction.
Right. Well, here's another thing I heard. I heard that when The Rock came back, Brian Gewirtz came back. Brian Gewirtz was a writer back in the Rock's era, back in the Attitude Era. He was one of the head writers then.
Yeah.
So if it's, I don't know if this is true or not, but if Gewirtz is back, that's huge because he's the one that was writing all those stories. He was doing all those stories. He was writing all that stuff back then.
Yep.
So to have that guy being back in the helm doing his thing, I think it's going to be good for the storyline.
Yeah.
But again, rumor and innuendo. I don't know if it's true. I don't have a connection to let me know if he's actually back.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm hearing. It's in the rumor and innuendo mill.
I'm at the point now where I just got to take it week by week because, we figured out certain things up to a certain point, but I'm glad that the picture's starting to become a little bit clearer. But at the same time, I also don't like knowing or being able to figure out what's going on. So it's like a trade-off. Like I want to know, but I don't want to know. So I'm glad that we're in the space that we're in right now where I'm just going to sit and enjoy it. And I don't know what's going on right now. So I'm just going to sit and enjoy it to the build up.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited for it. WrestleMania is always a trip to get to. So we'll see what comes with that. We'll see if something comes up at 5 a.m. on Saturday.
I mean, fucking pajamas, bro.
So I want to talk about AEW quick.
Yes.
And we got a few things to talk about with AEW today before we get into things. So I want to talk about Hangman Adam Page. So I talked to you about something when I first walked in the door. And as I've done a little bit of research, I found out that that's not even the case. It was all a work. So they did an angle where Hangman Adam Page talked shit to CM Punk. And then they just did a Rampage taping last night. And he injured his ankle on the taping. So everyone's like, oh, Adam Page is injured now. And it's been leaked that he wasn't injured and he was working the fans. And they're not happy. AEW's not happy about that.
Of course not, you asshole.
It's kind of, however that happened, it ruined the whole story.
You know how many people take a pivot as soon as they hear that? You have people running all over the goddamn place trying to figure out what they're going to do. Because you're out here faking injuries, bro. That's crazy, bro. You need a timeout. Right.
Sean Ross Sapp was the one that reported it. So whoever leaked it to him, I guess. I I feel like you can't be mad. If that got leaked to me, I would have been the one to leak it. I would have been the first. I would have been on here saying, listen, so I told you what happened, but guess what? I got proof that it was fake. I'd be the one doing it. So you got to find out who's leaking this stuff to him. So he tweeted, Fightful Select asked about Hangman Page status after the injury scare in AE Dynamite. One talent said he's just good at his job and said he was fine backstage. Yeah. So some talent saying stuff they shouldn't have said. They'll probably figure out who it is, maybe fire him. Jerry Lynn said this shouldn't even be announced. God forbid we have a cliffhanger for next week. So it's like it was supposed to be part of their story. Then. Like, was he hurt? Was he going to be able to fight in the match? Okay. And they fucked that up on him. So
great job, guys.
But that's what happens when you're in with the dirt sheet guys, right? Like Vince didn't like those guys. They're not backstage. That's why you can get more when you're letting Sean Ross sat backstage. That's your problem. If he wasn't backstage, he wouldn't get that information. He wouldn't be able to talk to a talent to tell him something that they shouldn't be saying. So that's kind of on you, AEW, for thinking that you have these dirt sheet writers in your pocket. Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer. You got these guys that you think are gonna ride or die for you. But at the end of the day, if they get news that they can break, they're gonna fucking break it because that's what journalists do, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
What the fuck am I reading right now?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Listen, I know we're gonna get back to AEW for a second, but like this is what I'm talking about where the marketing gets crazy, man. John Cena now has an OnlyFans page. Shit's getting real, bro. Shit's getting real, bro. All right, let me just read a little bit of it just to get you up to date because this was just released 2 hours ago.
Please tell me that he's not on it. This would be great.
Is officially on OnlyFans. But here's the caveat. He's as his character, Ricky Stanicky. He's playing a guy named Ricky Stanicky in the upcoming comedy movie, written and directed by Peter Farley, Zac Efron, William H. Macy, Lex Scott Davis, and Anna. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Please, I apologize. The movie will premiere on Amazon Video on March 7th. There's a trailer. You can go check that out. But like, what in the crap?
Is he he plays like a trans or something like that?
I have no idea, but the fact that it's on OnlyFans and this is what we have to do to promote our movies now is kind of...
That's nuts. That's nuts.
You know what I mean?
Now, it would have been... Here's what what would be funny? John Cena had an OnlyFans and it was just a blank screen.
And you can't see.
You can't see
Thank you. Yes. That's what I actually was hoping.
I was hoping that you said that.
That's what it was. I really was hoping that's what it was. Like, and then when I read the rest, I got disappointed. But still just hearing seeing the clickbait of John Cena has an OnlyFans.
Right.
Was hilarious.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But anyway, back to the AEW.
So I want to talk about an injury that happened last night. A real injury. This wasn't Hangman Page's fake injury because we want to do a storyline that somebody in the back screwed up because you don't tell talent to not talk to these guys. But Madison Rayne took a really bad bump in her match against Deonna Purrazzo last night.
Yeah.
I showed it to you. I don't know if you can get the clip up for people to see it.
Yeah.
But look at this clip. You're going to see how bad it was. She knocked her head on that. Did not look good at all.
Oh, man. Wipeout.
Yeah, she... They stopped the match for a second to make sure she was all right. She was able to continue the match and finish it, which is good. And it looks like she's okay. She's not concussed or anything. She confirmed she's all right.
I don't know what the fuck they talking about. I saw that clip. She concussed. That's some CTE right there, bro.
Listen, and I'm going to be the first to say this.
She can say it all she want. I don't give a shit.
I'm not a Madison Rayne fan. I don't like Madison Rayne at all.
That was rough.
But I don't like seeing people get injured. So
that was rough. Let me say this. That was rough, bro. Like that was rough, bro. That reminded me of like Big Show neck type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought she was gonna be braced up. So
like Owen Hart breaking her neck from that pile driver.
Power through the rest of the match is crazy. But I also know that like if you think you did anything to your neck, usually the procedure is, or your head is, all right, let's just stop. You know what I'm saying?
Wrap.
Like
we're done.
So I don't want this to turn into a thing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I think we should always like, I know that we got to play it off. We got to push through, and wrestling's tough because you really want to finish what you're doing there. But we also want people to be safe. And head injury, neck injury is tough. I mean, we got enough guys with fused necks, all kind of shit. So
right, like people that like seriously got injured. I remember
when y'all see this clip, when I put this up right here on the screen for y'all, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, like Darren Drozdoff when he went through that, and he got DDT'd a pile driven by D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, yes.
Broke his neck. The guy could have paralyzed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this stuff is real and can happen.
Real,
Like I said,
yeah, for real.
I want to double down on this. I do not like Madison Rain at all. We had a thing on Twitter. I said some shit about Sumi Sakai, and she wanted to retweet my tweet and then talk shit about me in her retweet, and then deleted it before I could see it and respond and say that she didn't want to give attention to me. So fuck Madison Rain. But on the other side of it, Madison Rain, I hope you're okay and I hope you get better.
Yeah, correct.
Because I don't like, as much as I don't like, we have our personal thing. I don't want you to be in. I don't want, like, I'm not rooting for you to be injured. And
Yo, Madison gonna be watching this shit like, who is this nigga talking about some personal thing?
Right.
Talk about, bro. My neck's fucked up. Look at the screen just like that. I said that shit.
Oh, shit.
Yo, nah, but in all seriousness, well wishes to Madison, man.
Yeah, I hope you
Well
get better
wishes.
and then tweet me out.
Yeah, I hope it's not more serious because it looked pretty serious. Yeah. It could, but again, it could have been one of those ringers. You know, I've had that happen when you wrestling, you roll the wrong way, you get a stinger, and it like you can feel it down your spine, bro.
Oh, she definitely felt that.
Feel
The
it
way
to your
that
toes.
the way that like German suplex went, that was just like,
Yeah, that shit was.
and that's the thing. Listen,
her neck, her shoulders were down too. Oh, man.
this is what I was talking about with female wrestlers. You get more botches, and it's nothing like people gonna get mad because everyone gets mad about everything. But get over it. Here's the fact of the matter.
Yo, he's gonna roast girls every.
No, I'm not even roasting him. I'm just saying, like, naturally, right? Men have more upper body strength.
Yeah,
I'm not saying women can't have a lot of upper body strength.
I understand.
But you got to work harder at it, right?
Correct.
As a woman, it's
Yep.
just your build, it's science, right? So it's biology. So, and men are more athletic.
Yes.
It's just naturally. It's nothing against women. I'm not saying women can't be great athletes. There's a bunch of women that will whip my ass if we got to a fight. I know that for a fact. But I'm just saying. Generally speaking, men are more athletic and have better upper body strength than women. So when women have matches, there's way more chance for someone to get injured because it takes a lot more for a woman to pull the move off right. On the same side of that, right? I'm gonna flip it on the other side and give women their props, right? Because when women can go out there and put on an incredible match, it's that much more impressive because they had to work so much harder to be able to go out there and put on a match that looked that good.
Yeah. Correct.
So I
just know a set of feminist ovaries just exploded. That's all. I just saw that in my head. That's all. Calm down. We're talking about real stuff here.
Right.
So and to add to that, right? But see, the inverse of that, right, is like. Yes, but their injuries aren't as severe as the guys sometimes, though, because like think about like the amount of pectoral tears we've seen recently. So like they can get injured and it can be bad, but it's not as because the strength factor is a little different. When you blow something as a guy, like a knee out or something like, it's just different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The recovery time's different, all of that.
And if you get slammed on your neck, you're getting slammed probably a lot harder.
Like if that was a male that did that to another male,
it probably would have been
that would have been over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We would have had another fused neck. Correct. So, and to some degree, I think that lack of upper body strength or discrepancy and difference in upper body strength saved her. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that saved her in that situation.
That's fair.
Because again, when you see the clip that I put up earlier and you think about what I'm saying, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Because if that was Roman doing that to somebody, that was over. You know what I'm saying? If that was The Rock, Brock Lesnar, oh, my God. Wait, is that the guy not to be named? Like, that's the guy not to be named, formerly known as. We can't talk about this guy. It's funny, right?
They took him out. He was on
but
the
cover? UFC didn't do nothing.
Oh, because they're like, I don't care.
Like,
he didn't do that here.
You know, like I said, Dana White being there like, so a black guy said the N-word? What are we talking about? Next question.
Right.
Hey, some breaking news, some more news that just came out 7 hours ago. So you probably already knew this, but AEW to tape upcoming Collision episode. Guess where? To my Massachusetts natives. AEW will hold the event on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024 from the DCU Center in Worcester. So we got another event coming here,
so
AEW event.
So we got Boston, then we got one in Worcester too.
The promotion will also tape the edition of Collision this night for that Saturday's episode. So this episode that's being done in Worcester is going to be the one that they'll air on the following Saturday. Or the Saturday, though. Yeah. Immediately after it. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we might want to get to that one. Because the tickets are actually looking great too. Tickets go on sale Saturday for the general public at 10 a.m. Eastern time and start at $30. You can see the rest
And
at
there aren't a lot of
wrestlingnews.com. But
there aren't
yeah,
a lot of
it's
bad
pretty good.
seats in the DCU Center either.
No.
That's like the Worcester
Yeah.
Central,
I've been
whatever it
there
used to be, yeah.
mad times, done mad shows there.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. To all our Massachusetts mass holes.
So we got to get into our, since we're on AEW, right? We're having all this AEW talk. We got to get into this one. Tony Khan always has to make the news for his
off the fresh sniff,
off the fresh
sniff,
coke
bro.
use.
That straight from the motherland. He's getting that straight Colombian fresh white. Okay,
so I gotta rewind it back a little bit before we can get directly onto the Tony Khan part about this. So this all starts out with O'Shea Jackson.
Oh,
O'Shea
yeah, we
Jackson
going
Jr.,
here.
Ice
Yeah,
Cube,
yeah.
Baby Cube, or whatever you want to, little Cube, or Ice. I don't know what you would call him. Little Cube.
Yeah, little Cube.
Little Cube.
Cube Junior. Cube squared.
Right. So
cubed.
O'Shea Jackson has had a history of calling out AEW on shit. In August of 2023, he had this whole big long thing when he spray painted the AEW title with a black X on it, and people thought that he was like showing that he was an AEW fan, but he was like, nah, I'm back in CM Punk, and you can guess what the other part means. And he was just talking about all the trash that happens in AEW. You can go see it if you follow him on his Facebook or Twitter. It's all over there because he's a big wrestling fan. So he calls it out as it is, right? So he recently said, if I'm watching someone on AEW and I ask, who is this guy? I don't need you to tell me I'm not a real wrestling fan. What he was saying is how AEW, and I've said this before, AEW puts out guys, you're like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Like they just take anybody. Oh, yeah, my boy, yeah, we're going to put you on.
I mean, you have to expect that from your viewers, especially people that know wrestling.
And you get these, here's the thing, you get these deep wrestling fans, like these, not even deep, these AEW marks who think that if you don't know this guy that wrestled in this stupid little indie,
that we don't know.
We don't know that you're not a wrestling fan. Listen, just because I don't watch a lot of that, and I watch some indie shows. Yeah. I go to GCW. I'll go to Beyond. I used to go to all the Evolve shows. Everybody that was in Evolve, most of those guys know me because I was at all their shows.
My thing with fans, bro, is I don't care how long or how recent you got into it. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy and know that all of this shit is objective, bro. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, bro, like Sean's been watching a long time. And the one reason that it made it easier for me to engage and build a bond back into wrestling is because at no point in time is he really like pressed me about the fact that I don't know as much as he does right now. I'm not caught up. He's just encouraging me. And we're creating a dialogue so we can learn this shit together. But the people that are acting like I'm a wrestling purist and all this shit, shut the fuck up. Because other people are paying in their time and effort to, like, if I paid for WrestleMania, I don't give a fuck how long I've been watching it. I paid for it. So shut the fuck up and let us enjoy our stuff, man.
And if just because I ask you, who's that guy?
Yeah, like that's a common sense question.
It's just like AEW puts on a lot of guys that people don't know.
You have to understand that they're like, and this is what I mean by like, but you got to understand, this is great marketing for everybody all the way around. I'll get into that aspect of it as we go through the comments, because I think that this was actually, at the end of the day, good marketing for O'Shea, his dad, wrestling. Everybody wins in this climate.
Kind of, but like these people are like, first off, these IWC fans, like, listen, y'all are in your mom's basement. I know a lot of you guys are really young and you're woke and you think you're cool and you want to attack people and shit, but listen, this is fucking Ice Cube. Like niggas with attitudes. Like this dude I know you might know him from doing Disney movies, but that's not who this motherfucker is.
You're going to find out if we're there yet, all right.
Like, seriously, this dude said, man, I never wished Ice Cube pulled out more in my life than with this sped was conceived.
Hold on, wait, let me read his response. Ice Cube responded as follows. Fuck your witches, bitch ass drug head. West Coast, motherfucker.
Right. I'm just saying, like, yo, this ain't the dude.
It was a good day, guys.
This ain't the dude you want to be coming at. Like, that's it. I wish you pulled out and then called him a sped. You called him this kid. Like, really?
Like, whoa.
Bro, first off, we're at a point where you can't even, I wouldn't even say that. And I say shit that pushes the line. I wouldn't come over and call someone a sped case.
He said, motherfuckers wishing I was never born because I think AEW and the fans should welcome more people who, what was the rest of it?
The rest of it was something along who don't recognize the wrestlers they put on.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I mean,
if I'm
it doesn't
watching
matter
the show,
yeah. If I don't recognize somebody, I'm going to ask.
I'm going to ask.
Who's that?
Like, instead you're going to like hate on me because I didn't know who that person was. This person who's wrestled 7 matches and here's another thing. A lot of their guys wrestle in that California area, right?
Yeah, yep.
Because there's that PWG, which used to be ran by Excalibur, who I like to call Low Caliber. He's like
Low Caliber.
He's so, and I know you're getting back into it, watching Dynamite, right? The announcer with the mask.
Yes.
Yes. That's a white dude who, he's not Mexican. He's a white dude who wears a mask. Oh my God! No. And he lost his mask in Mexico, right? So he wasn't supposed to wear his mask, but then he came back here and became an announcer, and he runs PWG. And always wears that mask. So I call Excalibur. Wow. I call him Low Caliber.
Low Caliber.
I can't stand the
Low
guy.
Caliber diet.
Right. So, but anyway, they bring in a lot of guys that wrestle in PWG. A lot of guys that, and if you follow PWG only happens in California. So I'm not, and they don't have like a regular, it's not like, oh, you can go online and just watch it. Like some of their shows they do shows where they don't announce the card until the night of the event.
Yeah, correct.
And they're fans of diehard fans. So PWG fans will pay $100 to go to an indie show. Me, I'm like, what? No, 25. That's my max.
Correct.
30 if I'm sitting front row.
Correct. I'm not breaking the bank here. I'm not spending the mortgage to see this shit.
Right, just to see an indie show.
Yeah,
it's not even like I'm going to go see WWE. I paid.
You know what I mean?
I paid $100 to sit 3rd row at Dynamite. It'd be $100 to go to an indie show.
Absolutely not. Like, you have to make it make sense, guys.
Right. So
work your price points out.
But those fans are super AEW marks because they see all the guys that they know that wrestle in Hollywood all the time.
Yes.
That they go see all the time. So, I've been following this guy since he's first been wrestling here 5 years ago, and nobody else knows him because he doesn't go anywhere except for PWG, and they expect you to know him. So anyway, from there, Tony Khan.
Hold on, let me throw this shit on this dude's head, whoever is calling him a sped. I just want y'all to understand the fuck you talking about. So you're talking about Ice Cube. First off, you fucking assholes. Because now I'm just gonna fuck with y'all too now. I'm gonna piss you off because y'all like responding on some of our content anyway. So let me just piss you off while I'm still here. Hey, if a sped is being born from a hip-hop legend who also has worked in this community to enrich his community, and not in the novel sense of like welfare states and all this other shit, but actually growing real independence, and then still carries on his career to be an entrepreneur fighting for those same things, supporting HBCUs, then raises his son to be of caliber, not sped, but of caliber, to go into a space that even he couldn't truly capture and become an actor and then gross one of the top grossing movies ever depicted, and then had the ability to play his father's role. The likeness is so real that he had the ability to play his father's role and no one else could have ever replaced him for that role. Sir, ma'am, whatever the fuck you are, goldfish, shut the fuck up. Okay?
I think he's a troll anyway because
I know.
The guy's name's Drugs Delaney.
Yeah, I know.
That's like a character in a movie.
But that's why, okay, so now that I'm done with Drugs fucking Delaney, I also know that everything I just said about this person being in the industry this long, Cube knows that's a troll.
Oh, yeah.
O'Shea knows that's a troll. So here's my argument. My argument is that they're all using it for marketing. It's all good marketing, bro. And one of the best groups to get engaged with, to get immediately response, is anytime. One thing about wrestling fans, y'all got to pay attention. Is you have to understand this. Anytime something merges or crosses your intersection, y'all give it hella attention.
But wait, there's more.
Keep going.
Tony Khan had to do a line of coke and had to go tweet something about it and had to tag O'Shea Jackson Jr. in this. And says, you might enjoy checking out new experiences, entire worlds of international graps out there. I think learning about them's fun. All wrestling's awesome. I hope you enjoy whatever you like, and maybe someday you'll be interested in wider circles. And you will enjoy yourself. It's just like, dude, leave it be. And he didn't say anything like horrible, but stop. He didn't say that he wasn't.
Nope. You're a fucking idiot. Tony, Put the fucking coke down. Let the fans fight the fans, you idiot.
Right.
That's money for you. You don't pick a side, motherfucker. Y'all be watching too much politics, bro.
And you picked a side that's against Ice Cube.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
But even if you do, don't shut the fuck up. Yo, when I see people go on our content and they start going at it, like some of the Trump shit we put up, when people started going at it on that shit, or we talk about anything that we talk about, we talk about Hogan and they started going at it on it. I literally get the fucking popcorn. I'm not responding to none of this shit.
Right.
I agree with him or not.
Right.
That's the whole point. You put it out and you let the fans build the fever around it. Now, this is my problem with Tony. Tony reminds me of like not Diddy from the recent cases, right? But the Diddy that everybody was talking about, like when Suge Knight was up there talking about, if you don't want somebody dancing all in your videos, wearing the shiny suits and shit, like Tony be doing too much, bro. Yes. Sit your coked ass. Listen, man. Sometimes do less coke that night. Just a little less coke, bro. One line less. And you would have said, why am I in here debating with fans? What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, O'Shea saying anything was good.
Or, how about this? When you're going to go into the room and go do coke, hand your phone off to someone and let something get off your Twitter machine.
Or get a better idea and be like, hey, O'Shea, I know you're acting and you think you want to do a match since you think nobody knows nobody. Let's see if they know you or something like that. Like, let's get creative. Let's make it productive. Right? Because
bring Cuban. He could probably get you some good coke too.
Bro, bring Q, bro. You could have started you could have had a whole NWA instead of NWO. Yo. We could have did some licenses on niggas with an attitude. And then the best part is nobody can pull no race card on that because it's Cube. It's Cube, dog. You could have had niggas with an attitude. What? You fucking dropped the ball, you cokehead. Damn, bro. Don't say sorry, bro. Don't get that shit back. Niggas with an attitude as a crew in wrestling would go insane. Nuts. And then Cube from the management side, O'Shea got his crew. You know, you give him some like Nation of Domination, big ass dudes. And you got niggas with an attitude on AEW. Boy, your ratings are fucking skyrocket, bro. All right, anyway.
But instead,
I sniff less coke than you, bro. That's all that is.
Yo, hey, it's nuts. I'm just saying, like that's every week we gotta have something with Tony Khan.
Damn, Tony
never fails to give us some coked out
Tony,
moment.
I usually just put a little thing up there with a little coke next to you. I'm putting a whole brick. I'm editing a whole brick on this shit, bro. Damn, bro.
The Tony Khan.
Damn, Tony. I be fucking with you sometimes too, bro. But damn, bro.
It was wild because like
you go too far
in the groups where this popped up. Right, we started talking about the O'Shea Jackson thing, and then like an hour later, someone's like, "Oh, look at this! Tony Khan had to say something about it." Damn, it's like, man, you ain't cooler heads don't prevail.
Tony, in high school, you was the man, Tony. What the fuck happened to you, man? Sniffing that coke, man.
Nuts,
damn,
bro.
Leave it alone.
What are you gonna do though? What the hell?
I mean, I get it, but it's like, bro, stop. Because like this, okay, so like. There's so many layers, you know what I'm saying? So like, leave it alone, because you're also echoing somebody, like, you know how this started, and you know the one they shared with the sped comment. It might be best for you to just shut the fuck up and stay out of it, because now you're also furthering that statement by saying he doesn't know anything, he doesn't have any work. This nigga has. What the fuck is wrong with people, bro? You're saying Ice Cube's son doesn't know the world? What the fuck is wrong with everybody, bro? You know how, like, listen, I don't like to bring the race card in, bro. Put the fucking coke down, all right? Because that was slightly condescending in a racial parameter of a stereotype that niggas don't get around. But niggas with an attitude is global, bro.
Think about this, though. In Tony Khan's defense,
Jesus Christ.
He does live in Florida.
Oh.
And that's so Florida.
Fucking Floridians.
You know,
I love y'all, though. I actually like Floridians, though. So this is why I like Floridians, though. Because, see, this is why I like visiting Florida, not living
in Florida.
I go there for some wild shit. I can go there on a family vacation and still be guaranteed to see some wild shit.
This is true.
Some memorable stories and come home safe.
Listen, I went down there 2 years after the election.
He's sniffing that Florida coke.
Oh, yeah.
He's not getting the Venezuela. He's getting the Cuba. The Cuba cut. Oh, of course.
Yeah. He's right in Jacksonville, so he's like right there.
Oh, he's getting it straight off the boat.
I'm just saying, though. Nuts, guy. Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I'm fucking with you, bro. But
I was down in Florida like 2 years after the election, and there were people outside still protesting the election. I was just like, man,
They still out there right now, bro.
like seriously, they probably are.
They buying the Air Trumps.
Nuts. I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing?
I know y'all saw the Air Trumps. I want to see a wrestler come out in the Air Trumps. That'd be fire.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do
Oh,
it. If Vince was still around, it would be him.
ooh.
You know it would, because that's his boy.
Ooh, I wonder if Dana White bought a pair of them Air Trumps, son. Someone bought a pair for $450K, allegedly, it says on a report I saw on eBay.
That's
son.
nuts. That's nuts.
It was selling for $400, and he sold it for $450K, bro. It's wild. Anyway.
People just be buying dumb shit like that. Like,
Yo, why don't wrestlers have sneaker deals?
I don't know.
Tony.
Well, I think it's probably because, well, they all have their own thing, right? So WWE has Shop WWE. They ain't trying to like put anything out anywhere else.
Trying to keep it direct to consumer.
And
but
AEW kind of went into that out of like, so when AEW
like, you're telling
first
me
came
Roman
around,
Reigns couldn't have a Jordan deal? He wears fashionable sneakers and shit all the time, too.
right, he wears Jordans like the Roman Reigns.
Come on, guys. Yo, y'all need us.
Nah,
y'all
Vince-
need us at the table, bro.
But so here's the whole thing with this whole new Endeavor thing. Vince out the door now. Maybe
Yes.
it could open up to
Maybe, because it
that.
needs to.
AEW would have a
Look
better
what it's done
chance
for basketball.
at it because they are like, they started out as a t-shirt company. So you might not catch the joke in that one, but so when AEW was first coming out, it was the idea. It was the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega,
Yep.
and they linked up with Tony Khan, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put this together. He's got the money. We're gonna start this company." And for like the whole first year, all they had were a bunch of t-shirts.
So this dude's he was sniffing coke, hella coke back then too. Like he's a billionaire's kid, and his idea was to start a t-shirt company for wrestling.
No. They said they were starting like wrestling, right? But they didn't have anything.
Oh,
down.
so all
but they had t-shirts for everyone that they were gonna bring on.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere. I'm not
So
knocking you.
if you went on ProWrestlingTees.com,
Yeah.
you had like 50 different AEW t-shirts for all their wrestlers, but there wasn't even
No wrestlers.
There was no program. There was no nothing.
Got you, nothing. Yeah,
like,
I got
but
you.
so everyone was like, "Oh, they're just a t-shirt company. They don't got a show
Yeah,
yet."
that's
but they got 50
It
t-shirts.
was just bad
you could buy.
crowdfunding. That's what they really was trying to do. They was trying to crowdfund right there. It was just bad crowdfunding.
Right.
Yeah.
And they caught hell for it for a long time.
Yeah,
The
of course.
company.
You just had to spin that the right way.
And then
Y'all need us,
Here's
man.
the thing: as soon as they had a bad t-shirt, that was it. People were like, "Really? You're a t-shirt company
done.
and you came up with that shit
You're
t-shirt?"
done. See you later. That's when they had to get the programs together.
Right, facts.
Yo, Tony, for real though, like WWE, for real though, like I really like when I can only watch things through my business lens now. Even though I'm enjoying the entertainment afterwards, when I'm sobering from what I've watched, I only think about like what would enhance this experience. And I feel like y'all need sneaker deals, bro. Like seriously, like you have international market out the gate. The
Right.
NBA has an international market viewership, but you actually travel worldwide.
So here's how I think part of it is, and because
It doesn't have to be sneakers too, but I just think there should be more brand deals that's tied into bigger brands that elevates both sides' profiles. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's just not a part of the WWE structure from Vince for so long, but I know that there's an opportunity to change up some things now. That could
I
be
think that the
beneficial.
downside of it is you now lock a guy into what he is, right? So you got a guy that's like a big face, the face of the company,
Yeah.
great guy, and he's selling all these sneakers,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Oh, we're gonna turn him heel,"
No, that's fine. That's fine.
but it's gonna hurt his sneaker sale.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's
Nigga,
in
Kanye.
the boardroom.
Hold on, nigga.
In the boardroom,
No,
they're
it's
gonna,
not.
They're gonna look at it that
Bro.
way. You don't think so?
Bro, Kanye spent $7 million on an ad for the Super Bowl and shot the ad in the back of his car with his iPhone, bro, and then turned around $19 million overnight. There is no such thing as bad publicity in this climate. No,
Nah, you're right.
bro.
You're right.
You can sell anything, bro. I saw niggas sell crack. You can sell anything, bro. Like, you got to think about it, bro. Hold on. Let's take a little tangent here, right?
Yeah.
Who was the first nigga to go to the first nigga and be like, yo, I got this shit, bro? What you call that? What's that? Some crack, bro. And who's the nigga that was like, I'll be the first to try it. And then the pandemic ensues. You know what I'm saying? So again, you can sell anything, bro. These girls are selling farts in bags, bro. They're selling feet pics, bro.
You're right.
Find a way to get a bag in this economy, especially with so much shit getting automated out. Selling will never change.
Mandy Rose is like a multimillionaire ever since she got fired from WWE.
You telling me if they came out with some Attitude Era kicks. Because think about it, we're not just talking about currency.
Oh, fam, I would buy the Shawn Michaels. I would buy the.
You feel me?
I would buy the Heartbreak Kid kicks.
You kidding me?
Kid kick.
They'd be so fun.
What the Heartbreak Kick is? What?
Bro, I think they're missing the opportunity. If you're watching this and you're a creator, like you customize kicks, get on it, bro. Like some Cody Rhodes WrestleMania edition kicks that somebody specializes on a TikTok. Nigga, that's a 10 million view idea right there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Go get on it. Get on it, guys. There's a lot of ways to get this money, man. And I think that the WWE could definitely...
Or AEW. I feel like WWE is more closed-minded on how they're doing it because of how their system is. They've been around for 50 years.
I think, and I agree, because Tony... This is what I joke around about Tony, right? Like, he can be annoying, whatever, his tweets, whatever, but like, overall, I do like, up until things change, and we have to see how that's going to work out. But up until that, because he's so new, he's more open to more ideas. Right. And people have to understand, like the consumer has to understand, is we're really still, like AEW's been around for a while, but WWE's been around forever. They've gone through their growing pains. What we're watching real time is what it's like for a business to scale. And AEW's trying to scale, and that takes a lot of ideas. Some are going to hit, some are going to miss. But if you still enjoy most of the product or most of your experience, then just enjoy the ride and have a sober mind about what you're actually witnessing. You're watching a company that is fighting to be in space with another company that's monopolized the space for a long time. Not intentionally, there just was no competitor. No one could compete. And if they did, they ended up merging half the time because they just understood that they had the infrastructure. So I do give some kudos to Tony as far as like taking on that. It's a very audacious challenge to take on, knowing the fan base is so ingrained in every decision that you make. So I do give him some credit there. And Coke does help, I guess, because, it helps him deal with like, oh, it's too much. I've read too many comments. I got a cool little joke in there. But yeah, Tony, he's right. I think that the best company that could do something like that and align more deals, because, we have to leverage our viewership.
Or
bro.
a TNA wrestling, or like one of these smaller companies that are like trying to come up and you get a big name, boom, do something, put yourself up
get some sneakers, bro.
Mainstream, right?
Sneakers is it, bro.
Nikes out there, Reeboks.
Yeah, I had mad people like Trump. Yo, they were so surprised. Everybody was like, I'm the only one that wasn't surprised. Like, what is wrong with everybody? Does everybody forget how ingrained Trump? He might have worn the same suit and tie the whole entire time, but he was ingrained in hip hop before all of this fake pseudo shit going on. Everybody loves him. He said everything. Yes. So it's like, stop acting like he ain't been around to understand that he's gonna be at SneakerCon.
Listen, I'm gonna say the same thing as I said about when we talked about stuff with Hogan and all the racism stuff. Listen, you got to look at the whole body of work. That motherfucker was given awards by the NAACP. He was handed an award by the Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. You go tell Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson that they don't know what they're talking about, and they gave an award to a racist. Have fun with that one. Tell me how that goes for you.
Yeah, let's see how that rocks for you. But yeah, so again, tie some more shit in, because I think that's the next wave.
So, but I want to kind of go on the same, speaking of waves, the wave of where you just went with that, with Tony Khan being open to trying new things and doing new things. So just this past week, this kind of made headlines a little bit. I think it was kind of in and out because we're kind of in a spot where it's not as big news as it was for a little while. I think it's kind of, again, someone's going to get mad at me. It's kind of got old to a lot of people, the way that it's pushed. So Gabby Tuft showed up at AEW Dynamite the other night.
Yep.
They just showed her like showing up, or it might have been Collision. I think it was Collision she showed up on. Gabby Tuft, for those of you who don't know, is the wrestler formerly known as Tyler Rex.
Okay.
So Tyler Rex, you see a picture of Tyler Rex right there.
Yes.
Transitioned into Gabby Tuft.
Oh, okay.
So she, I don't know how you want to. Gabby Tuft showed up. Dynamite. I'm not even gonna. We're not gonna play pro. We're not playing the pronoun game here.
Yeah.
Gabby Tuft showed up at Dynamite, and people are upset that Gabby Tuft was there. And some people aren't upset, obviously, but some people are like, "Oh, what the hell? We get another Nyla Rose. Now we get Gabby Tuft and Nyla Rose." So here's what I'm gonna say about it. Ready? If Tony wants to embrace the whole trans community and bring him in, bring him in. How about this? Start a division for it. You want to see get rid of the divisiveness of it. Be the first one to come out and say, hey, yeah, we're going to take in trans athletes. We're going to give them their own division and their own title. And see how you want to, that's something that changes things, makes people look at things and say, oh, wow, these people said we're going to give them their own division.
Yes. So, all right. I agree to a degree, right? Here's the only thing that I think is different and unique that the wrestling world, why it works so easily in the wrestling world.
Because it's not real? Like it's
I don't
scripted,
like to say
I mean?
it's scripted.
It's scripted?
Yes, it's scripted. And if you keep it within the bounds of that script and you make it make sense and you make sure that equity is being involved for the women athletes in that stage, like you can't just throw them to the top.
Right.
That's just
right. You're
You
like,
can't
we're
do
just going to
that.
make them the champ.
Yeah. So as long as I think it's scripted right, in that arena, you can get away with that.
True story. Absolutely.
But in other sports, it's just not cool, bro. Now, I'm saying if I think of a space where it does merge well and it could make sense and somebody could galvanize and bring some unity around some of that, outside of the political side of it, just humanizing it a little bit more, I think that wrestling has the best platform.
Now that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only because of the scripted aspect. If it's like really real, nah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to change my opinion on that because the science is spoken. Even when you're reading this, I'm reading this about the story. And it says, when I was a male WWE wrestler, I weighed 280 pounds and my body fat was between 6 and 8%.
Nuts.
Now, as a female fitness coach, I weigh 187 pounds and my body fat is about 18%. But here's the thing. That sounds good on paper. But when we have to get down to like the nitty gritty. And I'm just talking scientifically here. We cannot be science deniers, people. Like, we have to stop this shit. And I know that politics messed a lot of that up with what happened in COVID and everything like that. I know all of that was crazy, but there's still some base science that we have to acknowledge in anatomy. And the fact is that our bone structure as men is completely different. It's completely more dense. It doesn't matter how much T or E I take. Our bone density after a certain amount of time is completely different. We have a completely different hip section. Women's hips, when they're born, are born to separate for childbearing. They have stronger hips than men. In fact, when you do hip exercises, there's one area where women dominate men all the time unless they're super well trained, and it's hip thrust exercises because that is the strongest muscle group there to produce all of our dumbasses. But anyway, the point is, no matter how much I do, there's still a bone density factor. Why is he talking about bone density? Because if I punch you in the fucking face, it's basic science. If this mass is denser than your face, you're going to fuck to sleep and probably shattering some shit.
Right.
So it makes a difference in real combat situations. And that's why you see certain people in certain spaces not relinquishing that. And I would argue that if we ever actually see the world go in that direction when we're throwing young women in the spaces with people that have that kind of bone density and structure, that we're literally living in celebrity deathmatch. So we just have to be careful. But
Gabby Tuft is 6'2" also.
You can't duplicate that. You feel what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Look at the percentage of women that are 6 foot, 187 pounds, and 18% body fat.
Right.
What are we talking about? Right. That's an extremely still fit male. Excuse me. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm talking.
I'm saying. You're right, though.
If I was 187 pounds, 6 foot tall, and 18% body fat, I'm a shredded nigga. Like, what are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm shredded. I'm a big guy. Or I'm a tall guy, but I'm shredded. That's all it is. I'm just lean. Now, I understand the estrogen, the da-da-da-da-da. Fuck all of that, bro. But here's the thing for Gabby. Because you're in a space where it can work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just be smart about how you approach it, and y'all don't come in like delusion and saying, well, now the equity is making sure I'm the champion, slow down. Slow your roll. We have to make it equitable for these women that are here, that you're entering their space. And I think it's also respectful. If you're going to be taking those transitions, why don't you just be more respectful of what women have established and stop trying to impose yourself on that space?
Right.
Anyway.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. And the other side of it, too, is you can't forget this is wrestling. This is wrestling. This is white trash, trailer park, Hicks. Sorry. If that fits you as a fan and you're mad at me, oh well, it's because you are. That's the only reason you're mad, because if it's not you, you're like, well, that's not me. If you're mad at me because I said that, that's who you are. And here's the thing. Those people are not going to take so kindly to Tyler Rex.
Yeah.
And you can't be mad and be like, whoa, I get it. We live in a time where we want everyone to accept everything.
Yeah.
However, you don't want to accept someone's other opinion of things, right? So if that person doesn't like it, they're wrong. But guess what? You can't. You're coming into to a space that's their space. So you're like, we're gonna make wrestling more for everyone. We're gonna get more people involved and be open to all these different things. But you're coming into their space. That's like if it's a gay club and a bunch of white trailer park kicks came into your gay club and decided to tell you that you're going to play this specific music from now on, and we're going to design this club this way. You'd be like, what are you doing? This is our space. You're not going to come in here and tell us how to make our space operate. It's the same thing. You're going into their space. And I'm not saying that you can't make changes, but understand that it's not going to be as easy as walking in the door and everyone's going to be like, woo, Tyler Rex is here. This is the greatest thing. No, you're going to get a lot of fight back. You get a lot of people that aren't going to like it. You get a lot of people that talk a lot of shit, and there's going to be a lot of feelings hurt. So if you're going to come into it, first off, you're in the sport of wrestling, so you should have thick skin anyway. And if you don't, you got into the wrong field.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to be realistic about it and understand that it's going to be a little fight on your hands. You got to go through some shit to get to where you expect to get to in the business because of how the business is. And you can't expect it to change overnight. You can't expect the majority of fans and who they are and where they are. I mean, we just had a Colin Ice Cube's kid a sped.
Yeah, correct.
Like these
this
people,
is a different arena, bro.
Right? These people aren't the ones that are going to be super accepting. Sorry,
correct.
It just is what it is. So you got to understand that.
So I think that Gabby has the right mindset because of some of this. I'm reading in the article, and here's a good example. So Gabby talks about the challenge of shedding muscle. I learned that taking feminizing hormones, does not make you lose muscle mass. And in fact, estrogen does a phenomenal job of retaining muscle mass. So while taking estrogen did lead to small changes such as softening my skin and shifting the fat deposits under my eyes, it did not drastically decrease my muscle mass. Early in my transition, I asked everyone I could, from trainers to competitive body coaches, for advice on how to lose muscle mass. They all said the same thing: lift weights and do more repetitions. They believed I needed to activate the muscles to make them smaller. I followed this advice doing lightweight, high rep sessions and cardio. As a result, I lost fat and became lean, but I wasn't losing significant muscle mass, which was incredibly frustrating. So then she talks about how she had to find a way to basically make her muscles go into atrophy in order to lose the muscle mass, right? But here's the problem. Atrophy only matters if you stay inactive. The moment you become active, your muscles reactivate, you're coming out of atrophy, and you gain those competitive advantages. So I like this. I like that. I actually like that this conversation, because it's in the wrestling space, can actually reveal more to the conversation because of the freedom that wrestlers have to talk about different things. The audience is used to hearing different things. And even though I know it has been redneck based in its origin, it's much larger now. I mean, Japan culture, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think that it's good that we can have this conversation over because I just got educated by something. You know what I mean? Just in that. I knew some of that, but there were some aspects I didn't know.
But it's funny because some of that is the arguments that the other side makes for why it should be okay. And now you got to look at this now and look at someone who's telling you this coming from physical trainers, coming from people in the workout space who were telling Gabby, hey, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And then we find out Gabby's like, no, that's not how that works. So again, a lot of the issues that we have in society today is we hear somebody tells us something and we take it as gospel.
Correct.
And that's what it is. So you get people that have used that as an argument on why it's okay. And I know we're going down a totally different rabbit hole. That's for a different podcast. But I'm just saying, you gotta be wary of things like that and understand that just because someone says something that might be an expert doesn't mean they're 100% right all the time. Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes the way that they think makes sense and it sounds right, but when it put into actual practice, it doesn't work that way.
I'm realizing people are really having a hard time in the phone and information age by just admitting we don't know something yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is new. So, like, the fact that there's even It's so new to actually act like there's actual experts. If you require 10,000 hours to become a master at something, where the hell has this 10,000 hours been spent on this topic in itself? And then it's like now and then that's one person. You have to duplicate that process in other people to become a master of that craft or a master of that topic to be able to educate the general population. We haven't gotten there yet. That's why this conversation is important and having these situations. I like that wrestling's embracing in that way, as long as they don't get too socially motivated to taint the pool, the talent pool, and make it understand that, no, we can write this in and make this equitable for everybody in a situation because it's scripted. That's fire, bro. You have an opportunity to keep things balanced. And that's all we're talking about, just having things being balanced enough. You know what I mean? Where it's believable. Because, like, again, we talk about it with the guy wrestlers. Like, listen, I'm not knocking it. Like, okay, the same way Gabby could be rocking somebody, I don't see the point in putting a brutish young buck in there with a guy that I can look at and say, he ain't got it no more. He can't. I don't like having to watch the young bucks slow down to the older guy's pace because the guy can't cut the way he used to or move the way he used to. It takes away from the quality of the match sometimes. So sometimes I like it when they do put like the legends in a match because now they're at the same speed for the most part, and the young bucks do the thing. Or sometimes they do a tag team where the speeds vary and mix up. But when it's straight young buck versus a guy I know you just brought back for this match and I know he ain't got it like that, it's harder to sell. Same thing here. If you bring me a transgender person that crosses over into the space, it's going to be harder to sell either way. If I have a woman that's transitioning to a man, we can't even have that conversation. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how are we going to pull that off and keep this person safe? I don't care how much tea you take and how much muscle mass you gain. The bone density is still an issue, bro. It's still an issue. And it takes you much more work to manage that transition of coming from a woman to a man, actually. So
we're talking about how fake it was when Rey Mysterio beating Big Show. Imagine if it was a female converted, like
female version of Rey Mysterio wiping out everybody becomes the, we got to make it make sense. And again, I'm not saying that we can't write a storyline where that happens. It just has to make sense, the journey to get there. It just can't be this mysterious person comes in and dominates. Like, no, it's got to be some slick ways you won some matches, some interference. There's got to be a road there. That's not just like I'm running.
So here's the other side of it too, that anyone has to think about because of where we are with this. Because there's so many, the rules of it, everybody's so woke. You got to be careful of what you say to people. You got to accept all this and all that. We're in a space where we're coming out of talking about all of these sexual predatory things that have been happening in wrestling for years. There have been predators in this space forever. There were wrestlers who were grooming young female wrestlers, even young male wrestlers. There's been a lot of grooming in the sport, right? So understand that we have to also police who's doing what and why, because we're literally in a time where I could be a predator and decide, oh, yeah? Well, I'm just going to transition to a girl. I'm not going to cut my dick off. I'm going to transition to a girl. And then I'm going to get to go wrestle all the girls and grab their tits and their crotches and do all this stuff because I'm a sexual deviant. And as a sexual deviant, I don't care that I'm doing this to myself because that's who I am. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that we have to be very wary of that and pay attention to that to make sure that we're not putting people in unsafe situations sexually because we want to be woke and we want to be open to letting in more people into this to make wrestling more for everyone. Just a thought to think about, because look at what we're coming out of. We're coming out of a space of Vince McMahon shitting a girl's head.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like this, it can get bad.
Yep.
And anyone who says, "Oh no, you don't got to worry about it getting bad," my answer is Vince McMahon shit on a girl's head. Like, what do you mean?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, of course it can get that bad.
Of course it can.
So yeah, so it's nuts. All right, well, let's get off of AEW now. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. And before we do that, I want to mention we've been talking about when are we going to start seeing the relationship between UFC and WWE like come to full fruition. So this past Monday on Raw, Michael Chandler made an appearance and he called out Conor McGregor to challenge him to a UFC fight. So this is the first. I think you're going to see a lot more of this happening because of UFC's connection. Like now that they're under the same umbrella, you can put a UFC fighter in the crowd at a WWE show and have an announcer go talk to him, and now you're going to hype up your UFC pay-per-view, and vice versa. You can put the Roman Reigns sitting at a UFC event and have Dana White go talk to him, and Roman Reigns drops a promo for a wrestling match that's coming up. So I feel like this was the beginning of it.
Yep.
And he said it wasn't scripted. He was on the MMA Hour podcast. He said, I literally injured my voice on Monday Night Raw. Before I went on, one of the producers was like, hey, this microphone, it's gated. What does that mean? It means you have to speak up. I don't think that'll be a problem. The moment took over and a star was born. It was planned. I was going to be at Raw. Obviously, TKO Group, UFC, WWE, all one big happy family. This was the first time they were intermingling the UFC crowd with the WWE crowd, bringing some fighters. They put me down in the front row, and I took matters into my own hands. 2 minutes before, they said they were going to put the camera on me. I said, why don't you give me the microphone? Hold on, let me run it up the flagpole. About a minute later, you're going on and you'll get the microphone if you want it. Magic happened. There was nothing prepared. I was thrown into the fire, smacked myself a couple times, and we went. And then on a possible WrestleMania 40 appearance. As you know, there are little hints being dropped everywhere. That was definitely coincidental. I had a meeting with Triple H after. We chopped it up. I paid my respects. I grew up watching Triple H. We had a nice little talk. I'd love to head out to Philly in April. We'll see what happens. So, I mean, and there's more on that. You can listen to that whole podcast. But it looks like we're going to start seeing a lot of interaction between the UFC guys coming to WWE to promote the UFC and vice versa. And I think it's smart business.
It is smart business. I mean, that's what the whole merger was really about too, is crossing over their fans because they're
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you like the script, cool, and then you want to see something else. It kind of makes sense to be together. You know what I mean? So,
like, I'm going to say that I'm going to go on The Exponent at one point and we're going to talk about trans rights. And I'm sure you've already talked about it once before, but I'm sure there'll be more opportunities to talk about it. So you could check that out on The Exponent. And you can probably go look it up and find the episode where they talked about transgenders in sports.
Yep, correct.
So, see? Cross promotion. That's what you do.
Yep, correct. Trans promotion. That's what you do.
Oh, God.
I'm getting shot. Oh,
right. All right, now let's get into this. Saturday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, 2 o'clock in the morning if you're in California. I feel really bad for those guys.
Yeah, for real.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
Because they're just not going to go to bed.
Better, yeah.
Right, they're just going to.
It's the getting up part that sucks.
Fact. Yeah, they're going to be like, what? Do some coke and watch wrestling. That's what Tony Khan would do.
I got to go on a Tony Khan run that night. I got to come there at 5 in the morning. Like, you ready?
You ready to go? Oh, don't worry.
Powdered up.
I just figured out how to froth milk. And Sarah got me this little frothing thing. Oh, I'm making the bomb lattes now. So 5 o'clock in the morning, we'll have some bomb lattes.
All right. See, he's bribing me. He know I'm a coffee guy. He's bribing the shit out of me right now. All right, I'm gonna come over there doing my tap dance.
Getting ready for you guys are gonna log on at 5 in the morning and watch us live and be like, holy shit, what are these guys on?
Going on?
Lattes.
Yeah. Correct.
Tony Khan is not visiting. It's all lattes.
Correct.
But Elimination Chamber, always an interesting card. Shows like this are odd because they're smaller cards. Because you get the Elimination Chamber component of it, and then whatever other couple matches they throw in. There's actually going to be 2 Elimination Chamber matches. One for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So we know who's fighting Roman. That's going to be Cody. We got to find out who's fighting Seth. The winner of the Chamber will fight Seth at Mania.
Yes, okay.
And then the other chamber is to see who fights for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. And that's going to be against the winner of Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax fighting at that card. So that match is going to happen for the Women's Championship. I expect Rhea Ripley to win. And then the Elimination Chamber match, whoever wins that will face the winner of that match.
Yep.
At Mania. Because Bayley won the Rumble and she challenged Io Sky.
Yep.
So that's the other match already set. And then we're going to have a tag team match for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. So let's run down it. We'll start with the tag team match. We've got the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest going up against the team that's now called the New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. This is a weird match to me. I feel like they did all this build up to get DIY in this match again. And then the very next week had him fight against this tag team and lose to them. And I feel like there's no build to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate winning the tag titles. The only thing that I could think that made them decide to pivot is where they are.
Okay.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, they're British strong style. Mm-hmm. So they're European wrestlers. They've wrestled in Europe. They've wrestled in Australia.
Gotcha. Yep.
So they're known there.
Yep.
So the only thing that I can think that made sense on why they took DIY, they had this match with DIY where they won a 4-team match, a gauntlet match, or a 5-team gauntlet match to become the number one contenders, and then lost to these guys like the next week. Like, well, how would you do that?
Why would you do that? Yeah.
The only thing I could think is because they wanted to put somebody in that the crowd would know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You need that fan recognition.
In Perth, you're in Australia.
Gotcha.
Let's put Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne in this match against these two.
It's just like, this is the UFC getting involved. Because that's what they do. When they fight in Australia and they make you have to have somebody from there on the
card.
You have to. And it has to be the biggest, the best in that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense.
And Pete Dunne has just come back to the Pete Dunne character, where for a while he was going by the name of Butch. So it's to bring back to this character, and they're going to put him over big. And I don't think they're going to win, but I think he's going to get put over big, and they're going to look really good. But I expect Judgment Day to come out of here still tag team champions.
Okay.
I just don't see. It doesn't make sense to me for them to drop them to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate when they're not really an established team yet.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But again, anything can happen. It's WWE.
We
Sometimes
never know.
they throw wrenches.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Especially in Perth, they could be like, "All right, cool, we're gonna do this."
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen there because I feel like there's gonna be a big announcement or something huge that happens because they're gonna take advantage of that international crowd.
Absolutely.
That's really like it does suck for us, but it makes sense for them because that's really just selling Mania to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
The more shows you do in other countries, the more...
We are headed towards like probably one of the highest rated Manias.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's going to be the most watched Mania.
So I really do like the strategy of like doing it in Australia and tapping into their crowd.
Right before.
Yeah.
Like setting up your main events for Mania in Australia. So now they're now invested in the main event of Mania. So they want to watch it. So from there, we got the women's chamber match. It's Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan versus Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi versus Raquel Rodriguez. This is going to be a banger of a chamber match. And I'm the first one out here to be like, the women put on that. Dude, no. Becky Lynch. Everybody loves Becky. I can't stand the man gimmick. It's been way too overplayed. She's run with it for too long. I hate when she walks, well, when the man comes to town. Like, all right, it was cool for a year.
Yeah. You gotta let it go. Move on.
Come up with something new. You're not the man. Stop. But she can wrestle. She can go.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair.
We already know what's up there.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of how her gimmick comes across.
Yeah.
But Bianca can go.
Yeah.
And I don't know
she can go.
I don't know if you've seen Bianca Belair out of Bianca Belair get up.
I have.
Oh, she's dope.
Yeah.
I love me some Bianca.
That's why I'm trying to tell you about Jade, bro. Like, what's this nigga talking about? He clearly, you better look her up. Shit.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw a picture of Bianca Belair, not dressed as Bianca Belair, was in a chat, and I was like, who is that sexy black woman that I need to marry?
Bro, Jade Cargill, dressed regular, looks like fuck. She reminds me of Storm, bro.
Okay, I can see that.
Like X-Men Storm?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like with the whole silver hair shit, but like the fit Storm, son.
So she
remind me of you remember the old X-Men cartoons used to come on Fox and shit?
Yeah.
And they was laughing because they always had the girls like anatomically, That's what she remind me. I like Jade. Lord have mercy.
No, you're right. Well, so she, rumor and innuendo is she was supposed to be in this.
I'm gonna get shot for that whole segment. Y'all know I'm married. I'm gonna get shot.
Jade Cargill was rumor and innuendo said she was supposed to be in this match. She's not in the match. So it was reported that after seeing her in the Rumble, they decided to not put her in the match. I don't know if I buy it.
I don't buy that.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
And here's why.
It was a good showing.
Well, that's not even why. Here's why to me. My opinion is, if you're not going to do Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley at Mania, and I think that everybody knows it's going to be Becky versus Rhea.
Yeah.
That's the expected match. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley at Mania. So if you're going Becky versus Rhea,
yes,
why would you put Jade Cargill in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
The only way out is her losing. So in her debut, like match, you cut I don't count the Rumble, but in her debut match, she loses? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't see why you would put her in a position where the only out is for her to lose.
Yeah, I'm reading here and they're talking about Ripley versus Jax.
Right, that's in Perth. That's going to happen.
Yeah,
so Rhea Ripley will take on Nia Jax, another member of the Bloodline family, even though she's not part of the Bloodline. I expect her to somewhere along the line join up with them or something.
Yeah.
But
are they fumbling the ball with Jade?
I told you.
It feels like it.
I just think that she's not ready.
Because I thought she had a good showing last time.
But it was the Rumble.
Yeah,
it wasn't a single one-on-one match.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't long. It wasn't. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on.
So it's easy to cover up the little things. And I think that. But so here's the other side of it. I think that was the best spot for them to put her out in, because they can focus on looking at her and watch exactly what she's doing, while we can pay attention to other things going on in the ring and miss any of the bad stuff that they don't want us to see.
Makes sense.
So, but it could be that they decided she wasn't ready yet. The only reason I say that is because we haven't seen her since. Like,
I've been looking. Like, where's she at?
Like, they've had her like in backstage.
That's what I'm saying. Like little backstage stuff. Like, yeah, correct. Like, you gotta go kick some ass.
Right. She hasn't even been out in the arena.
Yeah.
Like, she's sitting in the back, like, hanging out. Like, what are you doing?
Can't even get like a announcer appearance, nothing.
Right.
Like,
you can't walk out and just like call somebody out and talk shit to somebody.
I feel like, we dropping the ball, or is there something deeper going on?
I think they just don't think she's ready to actually get in the ring and wrestle.
So do you think it's more in-ring than out-ring shit? Because I also noticed that like she might not be, her skin might not be thick enough, because she responds to everything online. And I did see something recently where it was talking about she responded to fans in a like just a shitty way. And it's like, okay, you also have to understand, like, the fans are responding to a script, you know what I mean? Like, relax. They're not talking about you. Like the you that goes home
Some
and takes
people
it
get
off.
like that though. Seth Rollins is very thin-skinned. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me yet. Seriously,
some people love the pain.
Because he's like, so he's a real big football fan.
Yes.
And he's a Chicago Bears fan. So obviously that doesn't go well together.
Yeah. Correct.
That's
a hard life.
I'd say like 10, 11 weeks out of the year, his Sunday night tweet is, I hate football.
Makes sense.
So people get on him. So he's got a little bit of thin skin, but yeah, you can't react to that. And the people that do react, everybody knows. Ryback. Do you remember Ryback? Do you know who Ryback was?
Yes. Yeah.
Ryback blocked me on.
Wow.
He's blocked me because that.
Why?
And it was for not. Well, he's super thin,
bro. Would you stop a
So he's super thin skin.
I'm not gonna be. Listen, man. Sean says people are thin skin, but he be saying some wild shit.
Nah, watch. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, wow, he really blocked you for that." So Ryback put out a tweet asking people, "Where do you want to see me this next year?" And he put a bunch of options: WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW, New Japan, or retired. Well, retired won, and he got mad. He got big mad about it, and then put a post, and then put a post out, and then retweeted the poll. Right, fresh. No, I'm gonna tweet this again, and if you guys pick retired again. We're gonna have a problem. And I subtweeted to him and said, dude, if you don't want people to put retired, why do you even leave that as an option? And he blocked me.
Wow. He's like, you fucking up my marketing, bro. Shut up. God damn. Shut up. So
by the way, retired one again.
Wow. People are assholes. All right, so the WWE initially had plans for Jade Cargill Elimination Chamber, but those were ultimately discarded While speaking about this on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Metzer shed light on Jade Cargill's situation as he said that the possible reason for pulling her laid on the fact that it made no creative sense to put her in that match if she's not going to win it.
Right, and I agree with that. It was funny. I thought you were going to tell me that Meltzer was saying the other stuff, and I was going to say, see, Meltzer's an idiot. But no, I agree with him on that 100%. I think that it doesn't make sense to put her in that match if she's not going to win it because...
Yeah, he said the plan was basically her, but then they just decided to pull her. And I also think it's a viewership thing, too. Like, okay,
right,
we're shooting in Australia, guys.
Right.
That's all I need to say.
Right. We're going to be, probably, I would assume that Jade Cargill is better known in California.
Way better known in California than over there.
Or I'm even saying like on the East Coast. I think she's more known on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Nah, she's pretty well known because like her basketball. Yeah, because you got to be a fan of that. Yeah, you're right.
So most of her base fan base comes from the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be at 2 a.m. in the fucking West Coast. So, you know what I mean? So, no, let's wait until it's a time that's like reasonable for people to watch.
Yeah.
Because, I think that plays a big part to it.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But again, it makes no sense to put her in the match. It just makes zero sense.
Okay, but do you see, can they use that match? She's not on the official roster. I always think they always sabotage some shit. Like I always think like that's the easy one to go to, like interference. And then
yes,
Jade
absolutely.
messes with the match.
That would be dope.
Sets up WrestleMania.
I would like to see. So when you look at the people in this match,
do they want to heal her like that?
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a heel. She has to be a heel. That's her character in general.
Her flaw.
Just,
her flaw. That's her trait.
Right. It is her flaw too. Yeah, absolutely.
That too.
Seriously, like part of why I didn't like her in AEW was because she just leaned into that so much. The whole her and her baddies. She had her baddies.
I was about to say it's a generational thing now.
Right, I know it is.
Baddies is the crew, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the crew.
Mm-hmm.
They like it. It's Bad Girls Club, loving hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the vibes.
Right. But so
especially if we're gonna play into the character.
But I see her versus Bianca being a big selling match if you put those two against each other at Mania.
That's a mega match. And that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we get to that point? Do you see that?
You have her interfere in the chamber.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Because you got Becky, Bianca, Liv Morgan, Tiff Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez. This is a stacked chamber. Becky Lynch is nasty. Bianca Belair, we were talking about, nasty. Liv Morgan did her fucking thing.
Yeah.
She's had a world title run. She won Money in the Bank, cashed it in, had a world title run. Then she got injured. Tiffany Stratton, I think she's like one of the next big things.
Yeah.
They've got big plans for her. She did her thing in NXT. Now she's up here doing it. I think she's dope too. That's like she's like that little snow bunny. You're like, I'm not getting in trouble this time.
He likes the bunnies, bro. He likes the
she's
bunnies,
like that little snow bunny.
I'm not, hey, I don't discriminate. Oh man, I almost just said something. Now it got me canceled.
Right?
My uncle used to say a saying. I was like, all right, let me just leave that alone. It's all the same color on the inside. Let's just shorten that.
I like it. But yeah, so Tiffany Stratton, up and coming star. Naomi. We all know Naomi. She did her thing in WWE. She left, was the world champion in Impact. Now she's back. She's going to be doing her thing again. I expect her to put on a really good showing in this match. You got to love Naomi just because she's got them cakes. Dude,
what are you going to do?
Like she's got like her, and you can't even be mad. Why you gotta focus on that, man? Her finisher is called the rear end.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
She bounces off the ropes, spins in the air, and smacks the girl with her ass and knocks her out.
I hate about this too. Like we gotta stop this shit because like the female you could go on TikTok and YouTube and you can literally look it up. Like female fans objectifying male wrestlers. Like they're not out there in Speedos and shit for no reason, guys. Like this is. Sex sells, you understand what I'm saying? And wrestling is the epitome of it. All body shapes and stuff, but the point is for it to be attractive visually. And like even dad bods sell. So like it is what it is. But the gist of it is, like The Rock wasn't gonna sell being overweight, out of shape. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
it was an
Ruby Soho is a perfect example.
But the inverse is also, Nick Foley's and shit like that.
But Ruby Soho, perfect example. When she was in WWE, she couldn't get over.
Yes.
They had her as a face, she couldn't get over. They had her as a heel, she couldn't get over. Nobody just liked her because she's ugly. Everyone gets mad at me when I say it. She looks like that Remember that TV show Zoobly Zoo when we were little kids?
Mm-hmm.
She looks like that, like the woman that was the toucan, or like the green. She looks like her. She's got like the big beak and everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is what it is. I'm just saying it like it is, and people get mad when I say it. But the fact is, every time they brought it to AEW, they tried to push her this big face that came over. WWE was misusing her, and they were going to put her over here and put her over, and she couldn't get over because she's not visibly attractive.
Hold on.
It is what it is.
Hold on. This was
Uh-oh. Is it around Ruby Soho?
Was this was 4 hours ago.
Uh-oh.
All right, let me just start here. Posted by an ex-user, the arrivals of Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, and the chief of himself, Triple H, arrived to the arena. And guess who else showed up with them? The one, the only, Undertaker.
Interesting. In Perth? That's very interesting. There's been a lot of talk that Taker's going to do something at Mania this year.
The Undertaker has landed in Australia. There's a video right here of him walking in. I'll put the video up on the screen for you.
That's interesting. There's a lot of rumor and innuendo that Undertaker will be back. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this whole Undertaker thing too. Does that mean that like?
So he's in town anyway because he has something called the One Dead Man Show. That's going
that's
on.
the thing that he does. It's a traveling show that he does where it's just him on
he's gonna be
stage.
inside the Fremantle
answers questions
prison.
and talks to people and shit.
So he'll be at the prison, but come on, we know. You know what I mean? You're double dipping. You get a little money over there, do your show. You're gonna come over to WWE. Come on. There's no coincidence.
You think it's a coincidence that he was booked to do the one man show in Perth while they're in Perth?
Well, since we're in rumor and innuendo land, what do you think is the play there?
I don't know. Like, I feel like Undertaker is
pulling out all the stops.
But I think that Undertaker's lost a step. He's not like the Undertaker that we remember.
Agreed.
Agreed. I've been with my girlfriend for going on 6 years, right? And she's watched wrestling with me this whole time. She doesn't like the Undertaker because she's only seen Undertaker over the last 6 years.
Correct. She doesn't.
Like she saw Undertaker versus Goldberg in Saudi Arabia, and that was one of the worst matches ever.
Yeah.
Like that might have been our worst match of the year that year on the Smarkies. I mean, it was bad. So she sees this beaten up, broken down Undertaker that can't move like he used to move, and it takes away from it. So I feel like as much as he might want to be involved, I hope if he is, it's not in the ring.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a ring thing either.
Like, show up and do something, but then again, I wonder, what do you do?
Well, I remember we were talking about like if this whole dynamic is real going on with like Triple H setting up his little management thing and his crew. The Rock could be doing the thing with the bloodline. There's be some chaos in there. We talked about like before, like it'd be like an Undertaker or someone else to come in the mix.
But I don't. Here's the thing with the Undertaker. He's the Undertaker. Like I guess you could do American Badass Undertaker or do like real guy Undertaker.
Yeah.
But it takes away from the Undertaker.
No,
like, if he comes back as the Undertaker, he's got to be the Undertaker. And if he's got a crew with him, it's got to be that dark, occult crew.
Do you think it's what we talked about before? It could be from like a management perspective as well.
Do you mean like
development?
He could do that. And I think he may be involved somewhere in development with them a little bit. But that wouldn't be bad. But I think if you bring him back in a TV role, and I'll say this, if Bray Wyatt was still alive, I would be all about bring Undertaker in to be like lead Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
And be like handing it on to Bray. That would be amazing. If you can find someone that can fit into an occult role, like let's say you're bringing back, what's his face, Aleister Black, and you're bringing him back to WWE because that guy has a dark character that could fit in under the Undertaker's tutelage.
Got you.
So I feel like if you bring him into a management part, it's got to be somewhere with somebody that has that occult story,
it
that
has
occult
to be aligned
look,
with the brand and
because
shit. Yep.
otherwise, like I said, you could do it. You could just have him be Mean Mark.
Is there anybody out there right now?
Not really. There's not any like dark.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Damian Priest.
Oh yeah. You just said, but that's not the same.
Right. I mean, he could come in and manage Judgment.
You
could come in and like take over Judgment Day as like leading them.
I mean, Undertaker, Judgment Day.
Right. It fits into where they are.
It does. And then he gets them to go deeper to the dark side.
Right.
He could be the one.
You could do that. It would be a great way to push Damian Priest. He's got that Money in the Bank briefcase. Yes. And if he cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase
we hit on something.
under the Undertaker behind him, it's a whole new dynamic.
I think we might have hit on something.
Rhea Ripley with the Undertaker managing her.
I'm just saying.
Finn Balor.
That could be fire.
It could be.
We could be on to something.
Like that's a place that I see him. And if you look at them, their colors are purple and black.
Correct.
They already fit into his color scheme.
That's what I was saying. If there's something that can fit, and the thing is like when it's Undertaker, it's like I don't give like what do you want to do, bro? We're gonna fit you. You know what I'm saying? We just got to make it quality and not take away from your brand.
Dude, I would love to see Lewis get a huge push on Damian Priest.
I wonder if him being in the social
friend,
media space though has changed his. Nah, because I guess you can never lose it. But like sometimes I feel like when people take time off and they come back, it's like like ring rust. It's like they're
that's why I said not in the ring.
I mean like even like going into the character again.
True. See, I haven't seen his show, but I feel like his show is partially in character, but maybe not. It might not be at all. No, it's not.
Not to me.
It's just kind of him just sitting there.
Yeah, it's weird for me. Because I only know him in character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's good though. You know what I mean? I get to like see this other side, but no, he's not in character.
Well, it's interesting. And I think that you can't bring him back in his out of character mode because he's already like,
can't do that.
He's rubbed a few people the wrong way with his stand. Like
you can't
like we saw in our group, like someone was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's a Blue Lives Matter guy. Man, he's from Texas.
Yeah, what the fuck do you expect?
He's a Texas guy. I guess. Like I expected that. I bet you Stone Cold is too.
I can't believe
I bet
that
you Stone Cold's Blue Lives Matter
anymore. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, shut the fuck up.
People think that these are my heroes, and I expect my heroes to feel like I feel.
But these are people that haven't like literally grown up and become adults. You know, like grow the fuck up. No, there's no such thing as heroes, bro.
Right, it's true.
They say one of the things you don't want to do is meet
your heroes. You never want to meet your heroes.
And I met a few and was like, oh shit. All right, scrap that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because your heroes, no matter who they are not Superman. They're fucking humans and we're flawed, bro. Like, give people room. You know what I'm saying?
The other thing they say is you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain.
It's one of the greatest movie lines ever, bro. Because it's
yeah.
And that's why I quit before they got me. Because my ass is definitely Thanos lately. Like, I definitely can see why half the world needs to be snapped the fuck out of existence. But anyway.
And then the last person in that chamber match, by the way, because we finished talking about that part of it, Raquel Rodriguez.
Okay. So, yeah, I've been reading a little bit about this.
By the way, Liv Morgan, another female who could fall under some type of Undertaker tutelage.
Okay.
Because her last character, actually, no, it wasn't Liv Morgan. That was Alexa Bliss, because those two were very similar.
Very similar.
Alexa Bliss had that angle with Bray Wyatt.
Okay. So,
but that's a female that could also fit into what they do because she had that like whole little thing. So
I just like anything with the Undertaker being involved, and as long as it stays within character,
right?
As long as it stays within character.
Yep. But so this women's match, I think Becky has to win it.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be a good match. I think when I look at it, Raquel Rodriguez being a last minute addition should be good. It's interesting. I don't know how I would expect eliminations to go in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's going to be the first eliminated? Who's going to be the last?
Who's going to be last?
It's Chamber. So for any that are new to Chamber, the way that Chamber works is there's 6 people in this match. 2 women will start the match. The other 4 will be in these plexiglass pods inside the ring that's surrounded by a cage. There's a cage on the ground where it would be the outside of the ring are metal slabs. So it's like you can stand outside the ring on this metal slab. It's like probably if you put both of these couches together, it's the width of that, right? And you can climb on top of the pods. You can break through the pods. Every year someone breaks through a pod somewhere, somehow. Some people get put through pods. But every 2 minutes, a pod randomly opens and a new person enters into the match. You can get eliminated any time. Pinfall or submission.
Yep.
As soon as the match. So you could be the first one in. You could technically, I know one year, I think it was Asuka, that eliminated everybody. It was either Asuka or Shayna Baszler that eliminated everybody. And she was literally standing in the ring for like a minute in between. Like,
wow.
Someone would come in, she beats them, mad quick, eliminates them.
See you later.
And then she stands around and waits 30 seconds for the cage to open for the next person to come in. And people were like, and people were mad about it because it was like, wow.
You just running through everybody.
And it kind of ruined it because you're like, you get into it, then all of a sudden she's beat, and I get 30 seconds of nothing. Right.
Like, I'm waiting to beat your ass. Come on here.
Right.
Which one of y'all?
Yeah. So anyone can lose at any time in the match. Whoever the last person is obviously has the best advantage of winning it.
Yes.
Last woman standing. And that's what Chamber is. So once you're eliminated, you're out, and it continues on until...
How do they decide those placements? Because you don't have any ranking or anything. So, like, how do you really, like, is it just like you just... I mean,
who's in it, or when do they come out?
Like when they come out, like the order and stuff like that.
Well, that's all scripted because it's supposed to be random. It's supposed to be random. That it's like when it happens, right? You'll see when we're watching it. You'll notice when it's time for the pods to open, it'll do like one of those. Selection on the lights will go around. Ding,
that's
ding,
right.
ding,
That's
ding,
right.
ding, ding, ding,
Yeah, I remember
ding,
this.
ding, ding.
Yep.
Then it opens up.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
But that match is just a really good match with a lot of good talent.
Yes,
they can put on a good show, and you're like, okay, who's gonna eat what fall? Because everybody 5 of these women have to get pinned, or tap out.
Yep,
it has to happen. There's no other way for this match to end.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess someone could come in and eliminate. Like,
I'm just saying.
But I still think if that happens, like just from Elimination Chambers in the past, when that happens, the match still continues. And that person has to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like one time Undertaker like came from underneath the ring in the middle of an Elimination Chamber and like pulled somebody under the ring. And then they ended up climbing back into the ring later and winning the chamber because they were like out of
still
it.
going.
Like,
Yeah. I think I remember this too. Well, that's why I think where it was a good deflection to bring Raquel in, and then that mystery person can be Jade.
And that would be cool.
That'd be cool what I mean? If they do think it's going to be Jade.
Where she just comes in and like I see her costing.
Me too.
Costing Bianca Belair in the match at the Chamber.
Yes, me too.
And that just perfectly sets up for Mania.
Bingo. That's what I think's happening.
Like that would be, if they do that, that's
especially because they pulled her, that just tells me she's not really pulled. She's a magnet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If whether it's good, bad, controversy, polarizing, whatever you want to call it, when her name gets spoken in this arena, every arena that I see, it's a lot of volume in that space.
And you heard the fans when Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill faced off, face to face at,
and that's when they knew.
Like everyone was like, they're like, oh,
this gotta be it.
Yeah,
that standoff. I got that picture saved somewhere. That standoff is fire, bro.
Right, like that. You could see the spark. You could see the spark. You could feel the excitement in the arena.
Air. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it was
correct.
Dope.
And it's been a while since I felt like that watching two people stand off. You know what I mean? I felt that like legitimately, like ooh.
The last time I felt that when two people stood off against each other,
a color too. I'm sorry, but shout out
Keith
the girls.
Lee and Brock Lesnar when Keith Lee first showed up before he got COVID and he ended up getting out of shape and couldn't go anymore. Because that was going to be huge. But again, he got COVID and he's never been the same ever since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen that type of like that energy there for those two because there's so much alike.
Yeah.
But so different at the same time.
It's like the Spider meme, but not. It's weird, bro. I'm going to love that, though. I love when we get to WrestleMania there, though. What else we got up next?
Then we have Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, women's title.
Yes.
So this match is one of those matches you know who's going to win. Rhea Ripley has to win this match.
Yep.
It's in her hometown. Like, she's from Australia. Rhea Ripley's going to win this. She's on the cover of the freaking show.
She's on the cover of it.
Like, she's not going to lose to Nia Jax. But the other side of it is Nia Jax is so hated. Nia Jax has what I like to call X-Pac heat.
Mm-hmm.
So X-Pac heat is like go home heat. Like, we don't want you there.
I'm hip.
So like she's got X-Pac heat where nobody wants her around because of the things that have happened to her in the past. She's injured a lot of people. She's been very unsafe and people don't like her. Like Becky Lynch blew up to fame on accident because, I mean, not completely an accident. She had a good character that was going, but she became what she is. The man came because she was in a whole fight where they were doing a Survivor Series thing and Nia Jax accidentally broke her nose, and she had blood gushing down her face on SmackDown. They're like fighting in the crowd, and Nia Jax hits her, bust her nose open, and she's got blood everywhere, and it like became the big thing. They had T-shirts with her face and blood on her face. It was kind of like the new. Remember when Stone Cold fought Bret Hart, and he had him in the sharpshooter, and he was like his face was bleeding, and they made the T-shirt blood from a stone.
Yes,
like they kind of did that.
Yes,
it was like the new version of that.
Yes,
and Becky blew up because of that.
Okay,
but because of that and a few other things, when people got injured, people do not like Nia Jax at all. They just
for a moment I said, okay, then beating her. No, I said beating her would make it great from the side of like, because people don't like her and you like to enrage people, but that's not going to make Australians tune into WrestleMania. So she has to win. She has to win. Like her winning, I think incentivizes them to tune into WrestleMania more.
Yeah, our girls winning this.
Correct.
She's going to go to Mania.
You got to let the Australians get that. Like I said, this is Elimination Chamber is going to be a fire event, but it's also a massive marketing.
Plus the hate for Nia Jax too on top of it.
That's what I'm saying. So correct. So your Australia girl wins and she beats a villain. A consensus villain. That's great.
And even though she's kind of a villain, because the Judgment Day is kind of a heel stable.
Yeah, correct. But it's her. It's their.
But their
evil.
She's a face.
Correct. It's their evil.
Yeah, there she's the.
My
face
evil's always better than your evil. Fuck out of here.
Right. Fact. Yes. And then we get the main event. The main event chamber. It's weird that it's not for a title.
I did notice that. Like, what's supposed to
title? It's because they're just setting it up for Mania.
Okay.
So they're like, all right, we're just going to use this to set up Mania.
And that's for the winner of this
faces Seth.
Seth, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yes.
Randy Orton.
Match. Yes.
Bobby Lashley. LA Knight, rather. Kevin Owens and Logan Paul.
How do you see this going down? Who do you think's going to win that? Do you think Logan's going to win?
No, Drew McIntyre's going to win.
Drew McIntyre.
I think Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Or it could be Randy Orton. Randy Orton is my secondary choice in this.
Okay, he's my secondary choice. My selfish choice. I just like Bobby Lashley, man. Like I don't know what it is about.
I'd love to see Lashley win, but I just don't think that
it doesn't fit anything.
Right? There's no.
It just doesn't fit anything.
And Drew's been having this whole thing with
correct.
Seth leading up to it, so I see that.
You know what I mean?
I think out of it, we're gonna get LA Knight versus Logan Paul at Mania for the US title.
Okay,
and I think that's gonna be set up in this match.
Okay,
so those two will like have some type of interaction that costs each other.
Yeah.
There's been all the push with Kevin Owens in it.
Yeah.
But I think Kevin Owens ends up odd man out in it.
Yes.
And you get Logan Paul.
Logan had just beat Drew, didn't he?
No, he beat Kevin Owens.
He beat Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens. Sorry. Yes.
So he already beat Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
As much as some people would love to see it again, I think it's better to move it to LA Knight.
No, I get it.
I think LA Knight takes the title off of him at Mania.
Yeah.
That would be huge for him.
Yeah.
You
think Logan loses the belt?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, there's no need to keep it on him right now. He's the champion, but what has he done in his title reign?
Good point.
You know what I mean? It's very like,
You need I think he's done good, and I think he still needs some more development. I think in the time that he's going to get more, because I like his character, I just think that he needs more development. And a champion holding a belt that lacks development isn't good long term. So I think if you do shift it to someone who might have a little bit more experience, profile, traditional wrestling, and then you can still build him up and have him be who he is, his dickish character that he likes being anyway.
Right.
YouTuber life, you know what I'm saying? So
right. His character doesn't need the title. He's gonna catch heat anyway because he's a dick.
Correct.
He just comes across and pisses people off. So you don't need a title on him.
Yeah, he transcends titles. Like people would just want to see him in a match just to see him.
I think they put the title on him because they knew it would piss people off.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Especially like the purists, the IC, what is it? IWC.
Internet wrestling community. So yeah, so I think that they did that. That's why they put it on him. He's had his little run. There wasn't a lot going on with it because it wasn't a big deal for it.
Yeah.
And now he'll drop it.
What's the deal with Bobby though? Like, are we just in is he at the part of his career where it's just seat filler vibes? Is like, what's the deal? Because I don't feel like there's any development there. Don't give me the fucking funny laugh. Say it out loud.
He's playing the role of a well-dressed, educated black man.
Oh,
and he's not dancing for the fucking camera.
Come on, bro.
Or being a stereotypical angry black man. I'm just saying.
But he's still doing good for himself, though. Like, decent for the most part, but I get what you're saying. I told you, it's always like, that's why I feel like people like Bobby, he needs you remember the sketch they did with Jordan Peele, I think it was, and Obama, where you have the black interpreter. Like he needs like one of us to be like, Bobby goes up there and says the right shit, and we're like, what Bobby really said is fuck you and your mom.
Like when so if you look back a couple of years, if you go back a couple of years in wrestling and look at what they had him with MVP.
Yeah, I've seen some of those clips.
And that was dope because MVP, that's a dude that like
he had it.
Right. And people the black community relates to him. Because I don't know if you know MVP's story.
No, not the whole story.
MVP is a former felon.
Yeah,
like real life.
I knew this.
Like real life. He was a former felon. So this dude came from the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was more acceptable for him to be the guy representing Bobby Lashley and being that mouthpiece in the black community.
See, this is why I think like, okay, so Bobby's demeanor, right, can work if he goes into so if you got the hood black guy, right? Fortunately, you need the Django. I mean, you need the Samuel L. Jackson from Django. Like if he went into like double down on the button up side of being a black man and like what would you call it? I guess a super right leaning.
Well, like I kind of feel like that's where they're going with his gimmick. So like he took on the Street Profits.
Okay.
Right? So the Street Profits were coming out here with their red cups and just dancing around. And he was like, you got to be serious.
And I feel like if they develop that, that's his stick, right?
Yeah, they just got to they got to embrace it.
Because we don't take the proper, unfortunately, just because of the stereotype of the world and how we are, and we put each other in the boxes. We don't take it just depends on how you play it out, because you can have the smart hood character, but you have to play it out the right way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it just doesn't translate the same.
But he doesn't come across as hood.
He doesn't have it at all. No,
like
he's not in his DNA.
Just like in everything about him does not.
And he can't fake it. He knows he can't.
I come across as more hood than Bobby Lashley.
For sure.
And I have people that say that I'm the whitest black man they know.
For sure.
I'm like, well, go hang out with Bobby Lashley for 2 hours. And you'll never say that to me again. Yeah. And you'll probably actually never say that again because he'll probably beat your ass.
I don't know why every time I see Bobby Lashley, but he always looks like that one black guy that was with the rest of the Marines. You know, they always got that one black guy there. He's big as shit. He gets it done, but he's learned to like code switch, and it's gotten to the point where he can't switch anymore. It's just the code.
He's just there.
Like, I don't know why that is. Like I always see him in my head in like a military operation with a bunch of white guys, bro.
But I do feel like
6 on the low.
But I do feel like that's where they're trying to go with him, and that's what they were doing with the whole Street Profits and bringing them over. Because when he was bringing the Street Profits over, right, he was telling them, "You guys are jokes. You guys have talent, and you could be so much more. But you're out here dancing."
Uncle Ruckus character. To piss people like I would love. The only reason I would love to go into wrestling just to be somebody to piss people off, because it's so easy in this climate. I would happily, and again, like I would happily go into that space and be Uncle Ruckus, bro. Just to fuck with these niggas. I'm like, you can't let these niggers in here. You can't trust them new niggas over there. You ever seen the Boondocks episode? He literally made a theme song. You can't trust them new niggas over there. I'll be all up in that motherfucker. Samuel L. Jackson to call me, bro, and be like, yo, you gotta chill out, bro. You gotta turn that shit down, bro. It was hard to do Django. You seem like you like this shit.
You seem like you like that too much.
I'll be out there with my Yeezys and shit, my Trump ones, thinking like, oh, them niggas over there. I'll be like, you know what we need in the ring? A border, nigga. We need a wall. Fuck y'all. That shit itself. But yeah, we're reaching the top of the second hour close soon. But you know, time flies when we be rocking and rolling. But I know you got some more.
Right. No, that's kind of it. That's the card.
Oh, so nice.
It's a short card because of the chambers, because those are going to be long matches, right?
Yeah.
So it always ends up being a short card, and I like short cards like this. Like,
I like it compact. Sometimes
NXT did them. No, NXT for what? When NXT was first starting to do their takeovers, they were doing 5-match cards, and it was genius. If you go back, go on Peacock.
What is the one that was doing like, and it still does like 3 hours, bro? Like 3 hours seems.
It gets a lot. Well, Chamber will be 3 hours. This will be a 3 hour.
No, that's different. Like the bigger events, but there's one that I was just reading about it. And they were talking about like, is it time to shorten? Was it NXT?
I feel like it probably Mania. Mania is going to be super long. Mania is going to be 2 days, 5 hours each.
Look that one up. I'll have it for the next.
Mania is going to be 2 days, 5 hours each day.
Oh yeah, but that's like your Super Bowl weekend though.
I know. I hate that they went 2 days.
2 days is a lot.
Like they did it.
It's a lot.
They did it during COVID. It was their way to kind of
get everybody,
spread it out. We can't have people in
2 days is a lot, bro.
So
that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much.
But I think that they did that because what WWE realized was people saying, well, that's a lot. And then they're like, well, you realize that Mania is on Sunday. Everybody comes to the city that Mania is in on Tuesday night, and they start watching wrestling Wednesday morning at 12:01 in the morning. And there's wrestling shows going on from Wednesday at 12:01 in the morning until Mania starts on Sunday.
Damn, it's really like WrestleCon.
It is. It's like there's legitimate really WrestleCon is there. That's and crazy. WrestleCon has shows, and every other indie in the world has shows there.
Yeah, it's like, but I like
everybody comes.
Actually, that's why I like it though, because if you go to the city, like you said, there's a bunch of things to do. We're already talking about it. Like just going there just to go to the city, bring the projector with us, put it up on the screen, wherever we at, come through in the Airbnb, whatever, go out, mix with the night,
right? Go see all like for me.
I'm with that, bro.
For me, I'm about going to all the indie stuff because that indie crowd is cool because you see a lot of different things and you can go in and
for me, it's gonna help me catch up. You know what I mean? It's gonna make my learning curve. I'm never gonna know all.
It's gonna have you seeing. I'll have you seeing some stuff that you're like, what the hell did you just bring me to watch?
You know, I'm down. Listen, that's the thing. He doesn't like. He knows this. Like I may present a way, but you'll see me in different capacities, and it'll blow your mind.
I pray that Kaiju Big Battle is back because I'm gonna bring Lonelle to Kaiju Big Battle.
I'm going.
So Kaiju Big Battle?
No, don't tell me. Tell him, don't tell me yet. I'm not going to look it up. We're just going to go. I want to be surprised.
It might not be around anymore, though. Let's
talk about Elimination Chamber. How do we want to do this for presenting it? We're going to, because I know we can't really do the screen.
Right.
So we're just going to watch party it and have the screen and us just reacting to everything?
Yeah.
How you want to do it?
Yeah, we can just do that.
Cool.
It'll be on the screen at my place.
Perfect.
We'll just kind of talk as it goes along. And
all right, cool. That's what we're doing. So, again, be looking out for us. This episode should be dropping tomorrow, which is Friday here. And then that morning,
the next morning,
we'll be up for Elimination Chamber. So you'll be able to catch us. It's going to be a fire time. We're going to do a live watch party. We're going to figure out different ways to facilitate it, too, because there's different ways I'm understanding that you can legally put on a watch party now, but not for the pay-per-view stuff. But anyway, we'll figure it out. But we're going to have a cool watch party, so you just want to get a vibe with us. If you're up, whatever. If you're not, you'll see the video. But again, it's going to be a great time. Smarky's coming up.
I actually would be excited if WWE sent us a cease and desist.
That means we're on the right path.
Right, fact, absolutely. That's why I'm like, sure. I would be happy if I get a cease and desist letter.
I would send them a letter back like, you guys need to hire us. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, have you watched any of our shit? Like, we giving you gold, bro. Okay, go get your fucking sneaker deal. Shut the fuck up.
Right, seriously.
Or we're going to Tony. Tony's got better coke.
He's right. Fact. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Actually.
I don't. Yeah.
Vince McMahon shit on a girl's head.
Yeah. You're right. That's not coke. That's meth, nigga. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't even know. Whatever.
That's meth and bubble guts. I don't know what the fuck is going on right there, bro. I can't even. Damn, bro. Every time we bring this up, I just can't. Like literally thinking. Like I try to play it out of my head. I'm like, not only like you're not even young and spry, bro. You got them old crinkly cheeks. You just crack. All right. Let me leave it alone.
Right. They're like, you, sir, are not going to be live Saturday morning because you're canceled Friday night.
Fact.
I think that's it, though. We got nothing else. Just Chamber coming up. We'll talk a little bit about the review of it next week. I'm sure there'll be more ridiculous shit going on. There'll definitely be more stuff on the road to WrestleMania. And we're going to bring it all to you.
Absolutely.
It'll be great. There has to be one more pay-per-view because this one's the 24th. There's got to be one sometime in March. I'm assuming in the middle of March.
Yep.
Because Mania will be the first weekend in April. I think it's like the 6th or something.
Okay.
So there's got to be another pay-per-view and one more pit stop on the way to WrestleMania. I would expect, but maybe not.
Yes.
They've in the past sometimes done at the end of February and then skipped all of March to keep everybody fresh. Yep. But
we'll see.
I'll be interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I like it. I like all these developments, man. It's looking good.
I'm sure we'll get an NXT pay-per-view at least in between now and then.
Okay.
And then NXT will have something Mania weekend. So that will probably be Saturday day.
Yes.
Usually what they do is Saturday day NXT, Saturday night one of Mania, Sunday night two of Mania.
Oh, and massholes, remember the AEW Dynamite tickets for what's the DCU Center are going on sale Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. Same day as Elimination Chamber. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to look into it. Probably we'll be up. So we'll probably order tickets while we're watching it and everything. So be on the lookout.
Get a head start on all you guys. Make sure you set your alarms. Be up. Elimination Chamber. Perth, Australia. First time ever. It's going to be a banger.
Banger.
And if you're up watching it live, check us out because it's going to be a banger.
Correct.
Other than that, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Subscribe, like, share, comment. You know what time it is.
And with that, I'm Sean Puff. For Lonelle Walker, this has been Smarks, Spot Monkeys, and Superkicks.
Bound, bitches.
Peace.